Imagine waking up one morning to news that shatters the quiet confidence of an entire continent. The euro, that symbol of European unity, is fracturing at its seams. Countries are whispering about leaving it behind, banks are preparing emergency plans, and the shared dream of a borderless economy hangs by a thread. It began with high hopes back in 1999. 11 nations adopted the euro as their common currency, later expanding to 19. The idea was elegant: eliminate exchange rate risks, ease trade, and bind economies so tightly that war between them would become unthinkable. Money flowed freely, borrowing costs plummeted for everyone, and it felt like prosperity was guaranteed. But beneath the surface, invisible forces were at work. Not every country entered this union with the same strengths. Germany built its success on precision manufacturing and careful budgeting. Others saw an opportunity. Take Greece, for instance. It joined the Eurozone in 2001, and suddenly its government could borrow at rates nearly as low as Germany's. Cheap money poured in. Public spending rose, infrastructure projects bloomed, and deficits grew quietly. Few noticed the accounting maneuvers that kept the true picture hidden. Complex financial swaps, arranged with help from international banks, painted a rosier deficit picture than reality allowed. Debt piled up, but as long as growth continued, the cracks stayed out of sight. Then 2008 arrived. The global financial storm hit, and what had been manageable imbalances became existential threats. Investors fled riskier bonds. Yields on Greek debt exploded. In 2010, the Greek government revealed its budget deficit was not the reported 3% of GDP, but closer to 15%. Panic spread. Ireland, with its property bubble, burst, and Portugal and Spain followed with their own vulnerabilities. The fear was no longer isolated failures. It was contagion, a chain reaction that could unravel the entire currency union. Here is the twist most people miss even now. The euro's architects had created a monetary union but deliberately left fiscal policies separate. Countries shared one interest rate and one currency, yet each kept sovereign control over taxes, spending, and borrowing. Picture a family deciding to share a single bank account for all expenses, while each member earns differently, spends freely, and refuses to discuss the balance. When one overspends, the others feel the pinch, but no one can simply print more money or devalue their share to recover. Adjustment becomes brutal. Greece could not devalue its currency as nations traditionally do in crises. The drachma was history. The only paths forward were painful spending cuts, tax hikes, or external rescues. Bailout packages arrived from the European Union, the IMF, and the European Central Bank, the so-called Troika. In exchange came strict austerity demands. Public wages slashed, pensions reduced, services curtailed, streets filled with protests. Unemployment soared past 25% in Greece, higher still for young people. Political instability grew, governments fell. By 2012, the situation grew dire enough that serious discussions of a Greek exit, or Grexit, circulated in the highest circles. Contingency plans were drawn up for reintroducing a national currency overnight. Economists warned of bank runs, capital controls, and a domino effect hitting Italy and Spain, nations too large to bail out easily. The moment of truth came in July of that year. Mario Draghi, then president of the European Central Bank, delivered a statement that shifted the tide. The ECB would do whatever it takes to preserve the euro. Behind those words lay the promise of potentially unlimited bond purchases to stabilize markets. Confidence slowly returned. The immediate breakup threat faded, yet survival carried a heavy cost. Deep recessions gripped the periphery, trust in European institutions eroded. New rules were written, banking unions formed, and oversight tightened. The currency endured. But the underlying design remains: diverse economies bound by one monetary policy, without full political integration. Today, the euro stands intact, yet the memory lingers. What happens the next time divergence widens or another shock arrives? The union survived by bending rules and summoning collective will, but currencies ultimately rest on more than economics. They rest on shared belief, political resolve, and the willingness to bear uneven burdens. In the end, the euro crisis revealed not just financial fragility, but the quiet limits of unity itself. And those limits may one day be tested again.